I would never say this was the perfect workout, but I think it was pretty good. And I think that's that's all I need. It doesn't need to be perfect. There is no perfect. You can get a badass pump and then you're good. And the only reason I say that is because it's so demanding from like a mental effort like side of things, rather than just like sitting studying a formula. Because I this argument gets it's countered very easily, because I'm going to say, look, you should be the guy who kills it on every set, not the guy who tries to put all his effort into writing the craziest, fanciest program. But this is what I want to see as time passes. More of this grain. Not the grainiest guy in the world yet, but that's not nothing, Like, that's actually semi-reasonable separation of like mid to upper chest. And the difference between me now and me in 3 months isn't that I've gained more size or I've gained more muscle density or texture. That's already in there. That's already in the marble. And I'm just trying to chip away at the body fat on the outside layer. And the difference between me now and me in 3 months isn't that I've gained more size or I've gained more muscle density or texture. That's already in there. That's already in the marble. And I'm just trying to chip away at the body fat on the outside layer, keeping me from being able to see it. Like the size has been gained, at least for this current diet, and I'm just trying to reveal it by don't look at it as a problem in terms of like, oh my god, I've got a problem. Like, focus on the fact that you've got something that you want to solve. It's like, okay, if I want to lose this, what do I have to do? How can you break down a problem into a more manageable situation? You look at the things that you can do to actually solve it, and just don't let yourself get overwhelmed. So, okay, well, if I start doing my cardio, and I can probably stop going to Crumble so much and eating canes, and maybe I should start cooking ground beef again like I used to. Like, I'm really trying to get in there with all that extra fancy shit right behind my rear delts. And it's not like you'll notice immediately, but if all those little individual portions of your back are getting hit, and you're not just doing 2 pull downs, 2 rows, and calling it a day, not to say that you are, but just a generalization, especially once you get cut up. Look, all those sets of like light squeezing upper back rows, you'll see that they've paid off. Same thing with rear delts. Nobody really loves grabbing 2 dumbbells and doing bent over rear delt flies with the 20s. It's just not cool, or at least compared to bench or squat or cooler, more fancy lifts. But if you do it long enough and you don't mind the fact that it's a little repetitive, well, then guess what? Then you get rounded over shoulders and you're gonna feel like you can walk around like a goddamn beast. Some might not recommend that method, but it's just, it's just kind of fun to say try before you buy. But shit, if you do an arm day the exact same way for the last like however many months or years, just try changing it up. What's the worst that's going to happen? I've been a little bit stingy with trying new things, and the more open I've been to like new movements, not that I'm doing like crazy movements or anything, but just like new exercise orders, doing flies before presses, or leg extensions before squats, or like light squeezing stuff before heavy stuff. Not only is it more fun and interesting, but I just get way more different workouts, and then I have a lot of different like memories of which workouts I'd like to do, and I can base my newer workouts off of those. So it all just plays into each other very well. So honestly, that's probably the best win you can ever have. It's not necessarily like a revenge or like a I told you so. I think the best kind of state of being you can have is when in the moment, and basically for the foreseeable future, you feel like it's smooth sailing.
You know, you feel like you've got the wind to your back and nothing's going to stop you. You're achieving your goals, whatever they may be. You're making progress. You're just like generally happy. Because if you're in that state, then no matter what kind of random bullshit that's happened to you before, you know, no matter how severe, if in this current moment you're doing good, well then you almost have to look back and maybe not be grateful, but just, you know, think, if all that crazy shit didn't happen back then, well then I wouldn't be where I am now, you know? So it's like if you had a time machine, you could go back and fix every one of your mistakes and like make it so that nothing bad ever happened to you, or, you know, insert a million things. Then if you came back to the present, like, you know, out of Back to the Future or something, and you're looking at yourself after you just like altered your whole timeline, if you made it totally perfect for yourself the whole time, you never had any kind of challenge or whatever, you know, you're probably going to come back in the DeLorean with Doc and say, who is that guy? That guy's a freaking loser. That guy's like a total punk. And then Doc would say, well, that's you, Marty. That's you with no challenge, or with no, you know, with like no whatever. So it's obviously easy to think like that if you're in that kind of good headspace. You know, if you're going through shit in the moment, it just kind of sucks, you know, and you just gotta deal with it. But eventually, for the most part, you'll be able to look back and say, shit. And like, honestly, this is probably the best thing I ever want to be able to say is, oh, it all worked out. Well, you know, this, that, and the other, but in the end, it all worked out. And that's fine by me. That's freaking perfect. So, plan today is arms. I got my split like all mixed up, but now we're back on regular track. Arms, legs, chest, back, repeat. Rest days taken sporadically, shoulders thrown in every so often. But today's arms, so what do I think? I just did an arm day down at Bumstead's gym when I was at Raw headquarters like 2 weeks ago or something. We didn't get like a whole video of it, but we were all just kind of running around in there. And we did we did 2 sets of a movement, and then we swapped body parts. So 2 sets of push downs, 2 sets of curls, 2 sets of 2 sets of dips, 2 sets of curls, 2 sets of so I think that'll be good for today. I think a 2-setter loop will be solid. So I don't have a specific number. You know, I'm not coming in thinking, okay, if I do 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, then I'm good. It's more so, I'll just do 2 sets of this push down, 2 sets of a curl, then pick a new movement each time until I can tell I want something else. You know, so I think the best, if that's the case, then with the gym or with anything that you want to get good at, I think it's good to change your goal setting from I want to win this thing, I want to reach this bench, I want to be this size, I want to be this weight. Like, instead of having a goal that is very pinpointed and specific, which I know, right, isn't that, I'm like saying the opposite of what people would normally say. Rather kind of try to develop a goal of like becoming, like a goal of transformation, you know? So instead of like, okay, this next year, by the end of the year, I want to be at this point. Well, what are you going to do when you get there, man? You're going to reset your goal. You're going to have to kind of reevaluate your values, and then you're going to have to make another one, and then you'll hit it, and then you'll want something more, or you won't hit it, and then in a way, like to take it to an extreme, you might just feel like shit that you didn't achieve whatever that goal was, you know? So I guess at least how I think about it a lot is it's not reaching a specific point, but it's more so just making sure I've got a certain trajectory, making sure that I'm moving, making sure I'm getting a little bit ahead every day. And there is no end to that goal, right? It's kind of like the Sisyphus boulder up the hill, and instead of like basically hedging your bets that you think one moment will make it all pay off, kind of realize that almost never happens, and just think, oh shit, when am I really living? When am I really experiencing anything? only right now, in this current moment, like in the present. So I just want to make sure that presently I'm doing what I want to do, headed towards where I want to go, and enjoying the process, right? So I think there's not a lot of, or not, there's a lot of different kind of motivations that guys can have for the gym. Like let's just keep it at the gym specifically, or I guess it could be anything, right? It could be school, it could be like certain accolades, or getting a certain kind of job or whatever. Oil, vinegar, like something or other Italian dressing. Just use like a 0 sugar kind of sweeter version of something, like a low carb vinaigrette sort of deal. And then, well, boom, that's a big ass bowl of, right? You know, sure, it's just different kind of chopped vegetables and things. It's not like full of protein or full of carbs or anything, but it's very filling, right? It's a meal that actually makes me feel full to the point where the likelihood that I'm gonna actually cheat on my diet later and actually say like, okay, I gotta eat something, I gotta grub, it just doesn't happen as much, you know? And as easy as people can describe it, I don't think there's a legit diet anybody's doing where they're not trying it all. Like you can't get around at least a little bit of effort in just, I better not eat that right now. Ugh. I'm dieting, that's the point. I'm not gonna go get like 3 double stacks. Right? I'm gonna go home, eat my canned chicken or my canned tuna, and I'm gonna be happy about it, right? Some people can't do that, so if you can, then you're ahead of the curve, right? You're part of that 1% that can actually kind of chill out their natural instinct of, ooh, that tastes good. Instantly, you know, get it down. But forward, and I'll try my best not to, because you know, for me the motivation is, oh, I feel pretty good. Let's go a little extra heavy today. Let's go a little extra crazy today. Nah, I gotta pull that back a little bit. Just go a little extra crazy by adding extra cardio afterward. But I at least try to think that, you know, that's just a step in a longer journey, because if your whole life or your whole like goal headspace is all about like just one thing, one specific thing, and it's like make or break, like if I don't do this I'm worth nothing, and if I do it everything's gonna be great and my whole life is gonna fall into place and it's all gonna be perfect. It's just not like that, you know, because you're still you after you achieve whatever that goal was. So it's like a little bit more about the hunt than the catch, if you catch my drift there. So whether I'm, you know, headed towards a dieting season competition, or, you know, a little more bulked up, I'm trying to actually put some size on, well, you know, it's just whatever that kind of current goal is, as long as I'm taking reasonably sized steps toward it, well, then I feel pretty good, you know, because I can have a certain sense of accomplishment every day with whatever that goal is, you know, because I'm like not only giving myself a challenge, I got effort, I got some consistency, I feel good just from the feeling of like, oh, I did it. Like that's the fun part, you know. If I could skip immediately to the end, or like if I could like do a Gone Freaks Nen deal and then jump straight to like peak Sam Sulek ever, I don't know, I'd probably do it just because that'd be crazy. But I feel like I'd have to think about it, because the fun part is actually getting there. It's not just having it, because, well, you know, anything that can just be granted like that instantly, but how sometimes the whole point is to have problems to overcome, so that, you know, you're kind of always just on your toes a little bit, you know, not so many problems that you're overwhelmed, but like giving yourself good kind of challenges like that. And for me, the working out really fills that hole, or fills that gap, or that space. So, you know, I've always got something to do. Like there has not been a day in the last however many years where I had to wake up and think, oh, I have nothing to do today. Absolutely nothing to do. Like it's never happened. You know, even if it's a day where I actually don't have anything like, you know, chore-wise or school-wise or job-wise or whatever to, you know, go show up at or anything, I've still always got something. So I can wake up excited to do it. I can go to bed excited about doing it the next day and happy that I got after it today.
like, it's just a good headspace, man. You know, I think there's a certain kind of value that I maybe should even value more about knowing that I can lay in bed thinking about a crazy pump tomorrow, not only like reminiscing on the lift that I had that morning or that day, but knowing that I'm going to do it again the next day. And it's just give it time. You know, not everybody clicks with the gym instantly, although I wish that everybody would, because then we'd have cooler gyms, more gyms. But I'm gonna probably watch the sunrise and then get ready for a busy freaking day over at Raw HQ. Well, yeah, I'm sure there'll be all sorts of little random tidbit videos, but I could really feel my chest super well on bench, like barbell bench, for a long time, like at least a year, to the point where, like, I remember the first time I actually did incline in my basement, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and like I really feel my chest doing the work. I mean, like, that was when I actually got the gist of like what people mean when they say mind-muscle connection. But you know, it's as long as you end up with a solid pump and you're making progress, shit, man, who cares what anybody says about what your training is? You know, I think we can all kind of agree on some things, but if you're legit making progress and you're having fun doing it, well, guess what? You're winning. Let's say someone loves their training, or they at least like it, and they go really hard pretty consistently. So what does that imply? Well, he's probably going to keep training. He's probably going to be in a good mood when he's in the gym. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but if you're in a bad mood, I think your creativity crashes, your openness to new ideas crashes, your just like not persuade ability, but like your openness to seeing new things. Like if you're pissed, if you're just annoyed, none of that is functioning. You're just like, oh, I want to do my freaking workout and leave. Consistently. So what does that imply? Well, he's probably going to keep training. He's probably going to be in a good mood when he's in the gym. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but if you're in a bad mood, I think your creativity crashes. Scale. Like instead of sitting there like feeling, you checking the clock every 3 minutes, just waiting until you're done, you're a little more in kind of like a flow state. Like you don't feel like you're being forced to work out, even if it's like, you are the one forcing yourself to do it. You're actually enjoying it. You're enjoying the process, and you're going to think more creatively, and maybe not even more creatively, but just you're going to be more open to trying new stuff and putting more energy into every rep. If two guys were given the exact same workout and they had the exact same skill, training history, experience, size, everything, you're enjoying the process, and you're going to think more creatively, and maybe not even more creatively, but just you're going to be more open to trying new stuff and putting more energy into every rep. If two guys were given the exact same workout and they had the exact same skill, training history, experience, size, everything, and one guy was he was in a rush, he had something to do, he was not even thinking about his training because he's got so much other shit going on that's just fucking with him, to put it simply, excuse the F-bomb, versus someone who's like, I set my schedule up well today, I got a really good night's rest, I watched a couple TikTok edits earlier, like old training videos that now I'm amped, I'm extra excited for training, and I gave myself a good block of time, so shit, I'm not in a rush, I can really take as long as I need here and not feel like I have to rush this lift. Who's going to have a better workout? Versus someone who's like, I set my schedule up well today, I got a really good night's rest, I watched a couple TikTok edits earlier, like old training videos that now I'm amped, I'm extra excited for training, and I gave myself a good block of time, so shit, I'm not in a rush, I can really take as long as I need here and not feel like I have to rush this lift. Who's going to have a better workout? And it's not better by a horse, but it's much easier to perform when your preparation is on point, So I guess just maybe my tip here is try to put a little more value on essentially your me time, right? So I guess just maybe
my tip here is try to put a little more value on essentially your me time, right? Like this is usually, you don't hear guys say this, but you ever hear about people say protecting your peace? They'll make a joke about it where it's like, oh, I protected my peace too long and now I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock on a Sunday. You know, the idea is you're treating yourself with not exactly more respect, but you know you should get a good night's rest. You know you should be hydrated. You know you shouldn't just blow all your time, and you should spend it doing things that are kind of productive. If you're in a good mood, you're going to do better. Boil everything I just said down. If you're in a good mood, if you're well rested, you will perform better. And even if you only perform 1% better every day, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but 1% per day multiplied by a year is, it's nuts. So if you do what it takes, results will come. It's not luck-based. It's not anything based. If someone goes to the gym 5 days a week, intervenes in their diet pretty consistently, sleeps well, guess what? He will make gains. He will make progress. There is no if, there's no chance. That's just what it takes, right? Okay, this could very well be it. And that was actually a really good start. 3 sets of extensions, varied style. Like, I guess my current thought process is when I'm bulking, that's when I need to completely destroy them to induce growth. But to maintain them, I think to really try and wreck them, at least for me, like if I squat too much or if I do heavy leg press too much, too frequently too, my knees I get twinges with the workouts. Obviously, one, make sure I don't hurt myself, which I'm always careful about. I'm a lot better about that. But when you're dieting, you gotta be able to pump the brakes a little. When you're, bulked up, I've gone from, I've never curled the hundreds for like a real working set, but I've grabbed the 90s for like 9. And I got to be okay with cutting that weight in half for these curls. But the second concern is tempo. I don't want to lose my pump when I'm dieting because it's already fleeting. It's always fleeting, but when you're low on carbs, I don't stay pumped for long. But 15 minutes or 20-minute drive home, pump's gone. So I got to keep that tempo up a bit more just to kind of make up for that lack of glycogen. Well, shit, man. That's what I want, right? If anything, I want the cardio to be as least physically taxing while still, getting me up into that zone, whatever heart rate where, I'm sweating at 10 minutes and then I can tell I'm pedaling hard, but not so hard that I have to back off. That's honestly the gauge of how difficult I make the cardio. Like, I want to be able to pedal, even if I didn't have a number, I could just turn it up one of the friction-based bikes and just feel that, okay, I can do this difficulty steadily for 30 minutes. If it's too hard, I'll start to burn out. I'll start to feel that it's getting harder to pedal. So it's just kind of a sweet spot of difficulty, if you follow. But I'm going to do that after hamstrings. I did 30 minutes in the morning, and I think now it's time to get a little more serious and add 30 minutes post-lift. So what that means is I also got to get a cardio bike at the private gym so that I can, get that loop going well. The problem is cardio bikes, I want a good deal. That's what I'm looking for. Like a new fancy cardio bike, like the stuff you see at like a New Planet Fitness, where that's the, I'm sure that somewhere someone is doing a pitch of the new 2026 Matrix recumbent bike with it may as well have an iPad slapped into the center console. I don't need that. There's just no. I got my phone, man. I don't need that to be one cohesive unit. But I do want to spoil myself a little more than just a Craigslist off the side of the road bike. So I'll scan around. I tried to get one that was actually a decent deal, and then the website was down as soon as I tried to place my order. So now I'm back to square one. But I think the best part about actually having a cardio bike either in the basement, maybe in your garage, having a gym that's just really close by. Like imagine one of the gyms that's kind of like a little bit in the country, you know, like I'm just driving down kind of country roads now. Like imagine if that was a gym right there, or, you know, wherever. It's nice to have that convenience, you know. You want to basically reduce the difficulty of actually doing your cardio as much as possible. Now, if that's having the cardio in your kitchen, like I used to when I was in college in my apartment, well, guess what, man? If it works, it works. That's for sure. But hamstrings won't be too wild. I mean, just a lot of squeezing stuff at this point. I can tell if I overdo it, dieting, like coming down, calorie deficit, I do feel it. Like I am gonna feel a twinge and a pull the next couple days if I overdo it on heavy hamstring curls, or if I overdo it on bench, or I overdo it on something. So it's kind of a necessary nerf in a way, where you have to back off, or at least maybe not, you know, in general, but for me, I have to back off a touch on the overall loading of the workouts. Focus more so on squeezing, just like, you know, activation side of things, and then, you know, just make sure I'm pumped and holding on to the muscle that I built in the off season. I know I'm going to get to go super heavy in a couple of months anyway, so I can wait. You know, I'm patient. I can handle some lighter squeezing pump lifts while I'm dieting, because I know that heavier, nasty, insane lifts are to come once I start beefing up again, right? It's I mean, I'm talking about the tide. It goes in and out, and that's one thing I think a lot of characters, and I don't mean characters like notable, like influence, I just mean like people in fitness, like getting into the gym, are potentially lacking. Like, this isn't just a blatant statement, but just a little bit of like a, you know, my own kind of mental suspicion. If you were to ask, let's say we were to get 100 people from a gym, random gyms, random polls, maybe 1,000, you know, whatever, and we were to ask them like one question, like, hey man, we're doing a survey, we'll give you $10. Tell me, in one sentence, what are your progress plans for the next year? What are your progress plans for the next 6 months? Or, you know, whatever time period. Let's say a year. You know, it's easy to just think that, well, I'm going to keep coming to the gym and I'm going to go hard and that'll be the end of it. I think a lot of people kind of get caught like that, where they do show up and their consistency is solid, but, you know, I've said this a couple times now, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but you can show up every day to class and still fail the class because, sure, you know, were there, but you weren't really applying yourself. And then, right, I'm talking outside of class, when you're home, is your diet kind of, at least in some way, synergistic with what your training goals are? Are you sleeping more than 3 hours a night? Are you drinking more than, like, you know, a few cups of water and like a Coke Zero that you got from the vending machine? Like, those things add up, you know? So it's all kind of part of the plan. So what I was kind of getting at, that roundabout, you know, point of saying all that, is that I'm glad I can have at least every couple of months something that I'm directly aiming for in the training. It's not just, you know, train indefinitely. It's, okay, I'm getting leaner, I'm dieting, okay, I'm gonna lose, the goal is losing body fat, maintain size, maintain strength, and continue. And then once, you know, I've achieved that goal and I'm done, you know, maybe in like April or whenever, then I'm gonna say, okay, right, time to rewire, time to take out the dieting CD and put in the bulking up CD, and say, okay, time to put as much lean tissue on my frame as I can. And obviously in both situations I get to enjoy the process. But now I'm just rambling, so let me just stop freaking yapping and get this leg day started. For this hamstring day, a little bit lighter, you know, this, that, or the other. But to actually do it and make it happen, well, I mean, it's going to take time, it's going to take, you know, some work, and that's, you know, time and work, that's just not fun, right? For anything, you know, we want things right now, instantly, but that's just not how it is, you know. So I try to spin that into making me excited about doing it, because kind of just like a be the 5%er kind of guy. Like, I know if everybody else is skipping it, well, then I should do it. It's almost like a call to action. The fact that it's hard, and the fact that a lot of people don't do it, make excuses why they don't do it, just try to, I mean, how many people even who work out for real even do cardio? And I don't mean like occasionally. I mean, out of the population of people, let's say, and that's getting back to what I was saying in the car on the way here. You can show up, but that doesn't mean you're doing enough. That doesn't mean you're doing what it actually takes to get where you want to be. So think about it like this, right? Think about somebody who you look up to. Think about somebody who's like a real freaking shark who has seriously made some shit happen. They probably weren't slacking, right? If you ever go to an awesome, huge bodybuilding show, I'm talking Olympia level, the New York Pro, Pittsburgh Pro, the Arnold, and like you stay and these guys didn't slack off, right? They knew what they wanted to do, and they did what it took to get there. You know what I'm saying? So it's I mean, I guess that's just on an individual basis. I know guys who are going to die on the hill of cardio kills your gains, man. You shouldn't even do it. And there's no arguing with that. It's just more of a, just living with the fact that that's how some people are, right? But I see that as an opportunity to separate from the crowd. If only 1% of people are doing the cardio, I want to be in that 1%. If only 1% of people are really trying to kill it on their sets, I want to be in that 1%. If only 0.5%, I don't know what percent, give themselves a program or give themselves a routine working out wise to do for a year, and they actually stick to it the entire year, barring like normal circumstances that'll get in the way, I want to be in that group. I don't want there to be any excuses. I don't want there to be any just hemming and hawing. I just couldn't really. I mean, the plan next spring is to do some competitions. You're not going to see me say, and I guess you never know what could happen, but I'm fairly confident you're not going to see me say, oh, I don't know, it just didn't work out. I couldn't do my cardio. I couldn't lock in on my diet. It just wasn't going to work. Catastrophe, right? Barring whatever the opposite of a miracle is. I know what I want to do, and the plan is to make it happen. So every day that I finish my cardio, that I track my calories, that I have a badass workout, that I drink my water and I freaking carry my jug around, that's one step closer. That's one little itty bitty step closer. And on their own, relatively, in the grand scheme of things, insignificant, or at least some people may look at that and think that it's insignificant. That's the argument of the guy who's gonna say, dude, you worked out all month. You worked out all friggin' month, man. Take a couple days off. Like, they say you earned it. It's, dude, you've been working really hard. You earned it. You earned the right to slack off. There's two ways that people look at working out. They look at training, they look at anything. One is as though it's just a time period of torture where they're starving themselves, they're not letting themselves eat whatever they want to eat. And the other, they want to do it. The training and the becoming and the becoming and the overcoming, well, that's the fun part, Like, I have, obviously I have fun being lean, like it's cool. But if I had to pick one or the other that I really like doing, between bulking up and getting leaner, shit, man, the bulking up is where the progress is made. That's the fun part. Walking around at the same size, I mean, so that's where you can get stuck, because the difference between making legit progress or just staying exactly where you are, well, your routine isn't going to indicate that, because you can do the same thing every day and make results, or let's not even say the other side of things, right? The freaking word that shall not be named, be plateaued. So just think about it. I try to do this every so often. Now I'm even once I finish and record here, I'm probably going to have a little bit of reflection where it's just like an objective, not so bad as a like Tarantino detest fest, but I'm talking just thinking about how hard you've been going, how consistent you've been, and really like kind of what I'd consider the most like not eye-opening, but eye-opening isn't a bad way to describe it, kind of thought is to really objectively think, like, am I really doing what I'm willing to do? Like, am I really putting in the energy that I want to get the results back? Because if the answer is no, well then why not? And the implications of that why not are not cool, right? I really want it. I'm not really willing to do it. Shit, man. Like, that sucks. Like the whole it's as though you're let's say you're like a vigilante kind of guy and you're seeing somebody get mugged right in front of you. You know what the right answer is, right? You know that's a call to action. And to just, I don't want to say cower, but just to ignore it. I mean you're freaking harboring, or well, not harboring, that's not the word. You're flowering regret, like I don't want to look back and think, man, I probably should have worked that a little harder. I was really slacking off for a while. I got pretty big, and then I just kind of like, I just stayed. I don't want that thought. If anything, I want to think I did too much, because at least that means that I didn't underdo it. I'd rather overshoot than undershoot. That is for sure. Obviously, the perfect scenario is perfectly shoot and do exactly as much as needed, and not to go too crazy. But you never go too far, or you'll never know if you've gone too far until you kind of see where that limit is, right? So I guess to kind of highlight and not highlight, but to condense all that into one word, right? Push the limit. See what you're really capable of. All right. Yeah, there we go. Whose Christmas list said we'd be hitting the freaking vlog style car talk? Yeah, very rare. I'm out of my element here. I'm used to actually steering wheel, but I'm in New York for a couple of days, and it wouldn't even make sense to drive. Like, it'd just be silly. So no, plan now. Let's go bust out some arms at Crunch. I'm not feeling so bougie as to go find like an Equinox. And honestly, I'd be fine with like just a regular Anytime. Like an Anytime Fitness would do me well, but not a ton off in the Manhattan area. But we'll see. But the real announcement for today, beyond the fact that I'm just gonna get a pretty solid pump, is the fact that it's Gymshark's Black Friday sale. It actually started earlier. Car talk has been elusive. It's been like 5 days, because there was three workouts in New York, a little bit of like kind of a walk on the sidewalk talk, but it was so freaking cold. It was only like 2 minutes worth of kind of random banter. But no, that was fun. That was shit, the change of pace is like insane. Just to see everybody kind of walking around like that. I didn't get a full like look around everywhere. But the last time I'd been in New York was for an orchestra trip. So back when I was in high school, I played the violin. I wasn't very good. I could play it. There's like 3 tiers of orchestra. Concert orchestra, where like as long as anybody could be in there, kind of. That's like the bar, as long as you could kind of play, and like you were trying at least a little. And then there was symphony, which is right in the middle, and then there was like the players, which is like the more kind of high level, just skilled kind of group. And I was in that lower level. That was cool with me. All my buddies were in there. But every 4 years they schedule a week, or if not a week, at least like 5-day New York trip where everybody gets on a bus and we all kind of head over there. We like do a concert somewhere. But yeah, so I didn't go back to Times Square or anything, or like the Diamond District. But I do see all those videos of everybody. They're just running around like, it's tracks. It's like "Sir, how much does this gold bar weigh? I'll give you 1 ounce of silver if you can guess right." You know, like that kind of stuff. Didn't run into anything like, you know, social media funny like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see the appeal, for me at least. It's usually, I think at least it's a relatively well-known pattern, that whatever your childhood and your upbringing is like, you typically want to do the complete polar opposite. Like it's always the like city characters who, you know, they go to, maybe they finish going to school and they're like, "Oh man, I gotta get out of the city." Oh. Or guys who are like raised in the country and like they think there's this prestige and there's just like this like hustle, and you know, like the city, it has an allure. Like it's not you know, the sidewalks full of trash and like 1 million Amazon delivery drivers because there's like 100,000 people per square mile. They're only thinking like New York City, the Big Apple. But you know, I fall for it too. Everybody's in this back and forth. Every time I'm dieting, I'm thinking, shit, man, I can't wait to get bulked up. And every time I'm bulking, at least for long enough, man, I want to get cut up. That'll be freaking sweet. So it's always just a back and forth, you know. And this, I'd say, this is at least close to one of the probably primary points of like human psychology. Not to get too specific, but it's like, it's just so classic. Like there's a million stories. It's just, we want what we don't have. You know, I think at the end of the day, it's hard to unwire your brain to that, because once you have something, well, now you don't at least maybe value it as much as you should, because, well, shit, man, maybe you used to want it like crazy, and then now you got it, I want something else. You know, so I think the best, if that's the case, then with the gym or with anything that you want to get good at, I think it's good to change your goal setting from I want to win this thing, I want to reach this bench, I want to be this size, I want to be this weight. Like instead of having a goal that is very pinpointed and specific, which I know, right? Isn't that, I'm like saying the opposite of what people would normally say. Rather, kind of try to develop a goal of like becoming, like a goal of transformation, you know? So instead of like, okay, this next year, by the end of the year, I want to be at this point. Well, what are you going to do when you get there, man? You're going to reset your goal. You're going to have to kind of reevaluate your values, and then you're going to have to make another one, and then you'll hit it, and then you'll want something more, or you won't hit it, and then in a way, like to take it to an extreme, you might just feel like shit that you didn't achieve whatever that goal was, you know? So I guess at least how I think about it a lot is it's not reaching a specific point, but it's more so just making sure I've got a certain trajectory, making sure that I'm moving, making sure I'm getting a little bit ahead every day, and there is no end to that goal, right? It's kind of like the Sisyphus boulder up the hill, and instead of like basically hedging your bets that you think one moment will make it all pay off, kind of realize that almost never happens, and just think, oh shit, when am I really living? When am I really experiencing anything? Okay? Only right now, in this current moment, like in the present. So I just want to make sure that presently I'm doing what I want to do, headed towards where I want to go, and enjoying the process, right? So I think there's not a lot of, or not that there's a lot of different kind of motivations that guys can have for the gym. Like let's just keep it at the gym specifically, or I guess it could be anything, right? It could be school, it could be like certain accolades or getting a certain kind of job or whatever. Maybe your whole family is lawyers. You got lawyer parents, you got lawyer grandparents, and then you got like you know, super crazy historical lawyer grandparents or something. And let's say you know, you as a kid, you want to be the best sculptor on this side of the Mississippi, and then your parents basically kind of manipulate, or not manipulate, but kind of like basically say, we're only going to like you if you become a lawyer, you know, or something like that. And then the guy does it. Maybe he does it and he becomes a super lawyer himself, but it's like it's not what he wanted to do, you know? So it's just like a lot of weird angles. And I don't want to achieve goals, and I don't want to like work hard on the things that I like to do out of spite. Like that's no fun, you know? I think there's, I don't know if this is like a moment or if it's just like a general kind of outlook, but like I don't want someone living in my head rent free, making me do what I do. Like I don't think back and think like, oh, that guy made fun of me once for only being able to bench 135. I'm gonna show him, you know, like, or you know, maybe the classic girlfriend story. You think if you get jacked, you're gonna whatever. Like, at least I hope, and this is very subjective. This is just like what I would think. It's not right or wrong, but I would hope that a lot of people who get into the gym with that like spite motivation, like with that I'm going to show them motivation, eventually kind of think to themselves like, shit, man, I don't really care about them anymore. Like this is just freaking fun. Like I just like doing this. This is who, you know. So it's kind of a forget and forgive sort of deal, where, you know, some guys maybe get into it for maybe not the wrong reason, but just some reason, and then they say, oh shit, well, how this all worked out, you know. And then it's just like that quote of 𝒮𝓊𝓁𝓁𝓁, where he's saying, sometimes your life isn't falling apart. It's just falling into place, you know? So honestly, that's probably the best win you can ever have. It's not necessarily like a revenge or like a I told you so. I think the best kind of state of being you can have is when in the moment, and basically for the foreseeable future, you feel like it's smooth sailing. You know, you feel like you've got the wind to your back and nothing's going to stop you. You're achieving your goals, whatever they may be. You're making progress. You're just like generally happy. Because if you're in that state, then no matter what kind of random bullshit that's happened to you before, you know, no matter how severe, if in this current moment you're doing good, well then you almost have to look back and maybe not be grateful, but just, you know, think, if all that crazy shit didn't happen back then, well then I wouldn't be where I am now, you know? So it's like if you had a time machine, you could go back and fix every one of your mistakes and like make it so that nothing bad ever happened to you, or, you know, insert a million things. Then if you came back to the present, like, you know, out of Back to the Future or something, and you're looking at yourself after you just like altered your whole timeline, if you made it totally perfect for yourself the whole time, you never had any kind of challenge or whatever, you know, you're probably going to come back in the DeLorean with Doc and say, who is that guy? That guy's a freaking loser. That guy's like a total punk. And then Doc would say, well, that's you, Marty. That's you with no challenge, or with no, you know, with like no whatever. So it's obviously easy to think like that if you're in that kind of good headspace. You know, if you're going through shit in the moment, it just kind of sucks, you know, and you just gotta kind of deal with it. But eventually, for the most part, you'll be able to look back and say, ah, shit. Now, like, honestly, this is probably the best thing I ever want to be able to say is, oh, it all worked out. Well, you know, this, that, and the other, but in the end, it all worked out. And that's fine by me. That's freaking perfect. So, plan today is arms. I got my split like all mixed up, but now we're back on regular track. Arms, legs, chest, back, repeat. Rest days taken sporadically, shoulders thrown in every so often. But today's arms, so what do I think? I just did an arm day down at Bumstead's gym when I was at Raw headquarters like 2 weeks ago or something. We didn't get like a whole video of it, but we were all just kind of running around in there, and we did we did 2 sets of a movement, and then we swapped body parts. So 2 sets of push downs, 2 sets of curls, 2 sets of something or no, 2 sets of dips, 2 sets of curls, 2 sets of so I think that'll be good for today. I think a 2-setter loop will be solid. So I don't have a specific number. You know, I'm not coming in thinking, okay, if I do 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, then I'm good. It's more so I'll just do 2 sets of this push down, 2 sets of a curl, then pick a new movement each time until I can tell that was enough. Then pose down, go home, get some food in my system, and then do some post-meal, post-cardio on the bike. Nothing super intense. You know, I only crank it to like level, every machine's different, but about where I'm burning 300 calories per 30 minutes. So that's 10 calories a minute. Usually that's about right. But don't take that number as like law, because some machines are super hard. Like I was on this, I don't know what brand it was. I think it might have been like a Hammer Strength Aero bike or something. And it said I only burned 300 calories in a half hour, but it was more than 300 for sure. Or at least it was more than what 300 normally feels like. And then some bikes, I can tell like, yeah, this is 30 calories, this is 10 calories a minute. Yeah, not so sure, right? So you got to kind of have your due diligence. So for today, I'm doing workout cardio in the morning and then cardio on its own at night. So I think I'll just go back and then put that together and then do my cardio there. I got like a freaking, like a phlegm thing right now. It's killing me. So what else would be cool, this would be freaking sweet, is a sauna. So I'm going to look around and see what's going on sauna wise. Because I mean, you can get like the, you know, like $150 Amazon like tarp 1-seater, but I feel like a sauna is already kind of wild anyway because it's like so hot and everything. I wouldn't want to be in a tiny confined space, so I'll look around. So if you know a guy who knows a guy who works for a sauna manufacturer, I would be highly interested in something along those lines. But obviously that's not a dire need per se, you know. But I do like a sauna post cardio, but only in the morning. Like I think there's, you know, I'm not one to live and die by the sauna, like you know, heat shock proteins and blah blah blah. But I think as like a full morning cardio setup, 30 minutes cardio followed by 15 minutes sauna, followed by, I mean, usually after the sauna I'd want like a little bit of a cooler shower just to kind of get back to like a regular temperature. That's pretty much perfect. Not as much on a bulk, but maybe I should do it on a bulk. I think it's just because if I'm eating a bunch of food, I feel really sweaty in the sauna. But yeah, that's cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is there. Very good arm day. A little bit on the quicker side for sure, but that's cool. You know, I don't need to sit here for 3 hours for an arm day, and I feel like I don't want the workout to end, you know. Like I think I'm like, especially for a couple of days ago with the chest day, like I didn't anticipate or have even the slightest hint of thought in the back of my mind thinking like, oh, get this over with. And I never want to, you know. I don't want to come into the gym thinking, oh, okay, let's just get this done, because it's not a chore. I don't want to think about it like it's a chore, and it's not, because it's something that I want to do. You know, it's like if somebody goes on a group vacation and then one person is like ruining it because they just keep it's like, don't you want to do this? Don't you want to have fun right now? Why are you, you know, it's like just a weird self-sabotage, I think. So, you know, I on a set-by-set basis, I'm not like, even after those first 2 sets of curls, I did not think in my head like, okay, I want to be done at 6. I want to be done at 7. You know, no pun intended. It's more so like, okay, those sets were good. Let's do another. Let's do another. Let's do another. Until I can kind of have like an internal sense of, okay, that's enough. I'm pumped. I'm fatigued. I know that those sets all added up to a solid workout, which partially I'm thinking of because I know what a good workout is to a degree, but also I know what a good workout has felt like for me in the past, so I don't have a rule that says like 6 sets, 5 sets, 8 sets. It's more so just getting a certain sensation of, okay, how hard did I go? Like this is my mental calculation. I'm adding up like, okay, how hard did I go? How heavy were those sets? How close to failure did I reach? If not, actually, did I hit failure? And just subjectively, how am I feeling? Like, how do my biceps, how do my triceps feel right now? And honestly, I think that this feeling part gets neglected the most across the board, because, I mean, for me, let's say it was biceps only. Let's say biceps only. I did 1 set of those curls. So let's just imagine a world where I'm doing the same set of those like kind of lean back seated curls for the whole workout. I'm going to do 10 sets of those. I'm going to do 20 sets of those, whatever, just to keep it simple for this analogy. If I do 1 hard to failure, just like I did in the beginning, all right, good. I'm on the path to being fully pumped and getting a good bicep workout. When I do 2, okay, I'm still there. I can still feel I've got some juice in the tank. Let's keep going. 4, 5, 6. All right, we're getting close. We're just about there. 7, 8, 9, probably around that, but definitely below 9 range. If every set is actually to failure, I'm probably going to say, whew, that was enough. That 1 set, I just did it. We're good. That is the end of it, And if I kept going, like let's say for whatever reason I had to keep repeating that set and still like try to go to failure in all of them too, beyond that point, I don't feel like I'll be doing productive work. I feel like I'll just be burning my biceps out, but like to no avail, if you kind of catch what I'm feeling. Now that's just my experience, or that's kind of my perspective. So if you think differently and maybe you get like a second wind once you've done like your 15th set, well, then I want to hear about it, right? I want to hear what that take is like. But for me, once I kind of reach that full, just pumped, just not decimated, but pumped, stimulated, like, whoa, yeah, that's where I kind of draw the line, and I think that's a good way to look at it. And obviously, if I think that, then that means that's what I'm going to do and what I'm going to talk about, right? But I wouldn't say it's objectively right or wrong. And, I don't think anything beyond like calories in, cardio, intensity, really is. And that's where, I know I'm trying not to like talk only about like this debate of like how to work out all the time. I can't help it. I get sucked in. I'm working on it. But I think that's where your own results should, at least for you, justify what you've been doing, or potentially prove it wrong, because those results are the addition of all those different variables of your training and your consistency and your effort and everything, all added up into one end result. So have you been making gains? No. You should change something. Have you been making gains? Yes. Well, shit, man. Obviously, keep going. Maybe try to improve it, of course, but looks like you're good. You know what you're doing, right? So just don't get too caught up in a back and forth intellectual battle, right? I think working out isn't necessarily the most intellectual endeavor. I mean, it's not complicated, really. Like if I wrote out, even if this routine was the exact same thing every workout, like if I wrote out a, let's say I did like an Arnold split, so chest and back, arms, legs, and maybe shoulders is in there with arms, with a rest day, and then repeat. If I wrote out maybe an 8 set per body part workout, or like a 7 set per body part workout, and then wrote out a dieting plan that was like super strict of just 6 ounces of ground beef, 100 grams of rice, or like whatever, that added up to like an actual calorie deficit or a surplus for a guy to bulk. If someone did that specifically, didn't cheat, stuck with it, well, then the guy's probably going to make solid gains, you know? So I don't think the sweet spot, I don't think the X factor is hidden in the technical approach to working out. I think it's really hidden, you know, kind of in here, like internally, like your internal drive and how hard you want to go and how hard you want to stick with it, and being able to hold yourself accountable when you know nobody's watching, nobody's going to watch you cheat on your diet, nobody knows if you just cut your workout short because you didn't feel like it, no one is telling you to keep going. That's you, that's your own kind of internal motivation. So I think that's what separates guys who kill it versus the ones who don't. It's not because they're doing it better per se, more so that they just, well, it's not that they're doing it better, it's just that they're doing it better, if you kind of get what I'm saying, you know. So that's my kind of shtick there. But that was a good workout, and I am excited to get under 240 pounds wake up weight. I started around like a 265, bulked up, watery. So as soon as I started dieting, dropped like 8 pounds like in a week. So that's just like carbs and water. That's not fluff weight, but that's just carbs and water. It can fluctuate very drastically. Like if I go home today and I eat 2,000 grams of carbs and 2 gallons of water, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 255, or 250 something. So started at 265. Now I'm around like a 244. So it's about, definitely before the end of the year, I should probably be around like a 237, 237-ish, something along there, maybe a 238 or so. And for me to get under, or to get into the 230s, that's when the freak factor kind of begins to make itself present. And it's slow, I'm not gonna lie, it feels a lot slower this time than last year or earlier this year in my last prep. And part of that is just because I saw myself crazy, stupid lean earlier this year. So I'm comparing myself to super lean, show ready Sam. But little details are making themselves apparent every so often, right? Like those little ab veins kind of coming up in the stomach. That's cool. That's one more little aspect of the freak factor that's telling me what I'm doing is working. Like me being able to see some very pronounced quad veins in the quad pump. Nice. Those little abs, obviously in really good lighting, but like seeing, serratus and like those gill looking muscles on the side of your stomach, that's in there too. All that is kind of adding up. And, maybe I won't see anything like that change for another 3 weeks. If I know I'm sticking to my calories, I'm doing my cardio, I'm doing everything right, well then I know I'm on track. So I guess faith kind of is a good word. You've got faith that your workout and your calorie tracking and your cardio is working, even when you don't see the results. You know that work is still, actually doing something. And a lot of people, there's no incentive to work at something unless the benefit is right there in their face instantly, which adds to the scarcity of people who work out and makes it more valuable. I'm not going to say you're any better quality of a guy or a person because you work out or you're in shape. It's certainly not so black and white as that. But I think there's just a lot that is proved by the fact that you're constantly working at something like that, because it just shows and at least for me, that maybe I'm being mean here, but I feel like I like guys who work out more of the time. I'm not saying I don't like guys who don't work out, but we can just be on the same wavelength, because I know that this guy does all the same stuff that I do, and it's like you just got this kind of unspoken bond in a way. All right, like you're in the gym, maybe you're getting pretty big, and you're looking, and there's another big dude in there, or whoever, and you look over, you're like, then you do your set. That's something that people have gone their entire lives with that feeling. And you know, it's not like it's the craziest thing in the world, but if you're into working out, you know, it's pretty cool. Like, I'm sure if you're a hardcore shredder at the guitar, and you go into a guitar center, and you know, maybe you hear somebody else really hitting something crazy technical, and then you grab something off the wall, and then you sit, you know, on the other side, and you start doing some crazy shit. It's probably the same thing, you know. So it transcends like whatever the specific thing is, but you know, it's just kind of like it's like parallel play. You know, if you ever heard of parallel play, that's when like kids are all doing the same activity individually at the same time, right? When the whole class is coloring, that's parallel play. When the whole class is doing something, or when everybody's in the gym working out, having a good time, that's parallel play, you know. And it's fun. You get a little bit of an individualistic like activity, but it's also a group thing because everybody's there for the same reason, you know. So more people in the gym, the merrier. I hope that this year gyms become more crowded and they get more funding for more memberships, and then they buy more equipment, or they buy more space and they expand, and then gym equipment manufacturers start making cooler stuff because there's more demand, and then there's more people making more videos about working out, like just a whole kind of upward spiral, right? If the conversion rate of New Year's resolutioners is 5% on average that stick to it, I hope that next year it's more like a 10% or a 20%, or I mean, I don't know if we can handle 100%, but I hope it's larger than ever.